Welcome to Leadership in 320, the podcast where we delve deep into leadership, both personally and professionally. I'm your host, Brennan Kent.
And I'm your co-host, Mitchell Kent. We're brothers and also school administrators with a shared passion for empowering others to lead.
Each episode will explore the principles, challenges, and triumphs of leadership, drawing on our own experiences and those of inspiring leaders from all walks of life.
But it's not all about the workplace. We believe leadership starts with self-awareness and personal growth. So we'll also explore how leadership impacts our relationships, families, and communities.
Our aim is to provide you with practical insights and actionable takeaways that you can apply to your own leadership journey.
We promise not to take ourselves too seriously. Laughter is the secret ingredient that keeps us going, and you can bet we'll be sharing some funny stories along the way.
So whether you're a seasoned executive, a teacher guiding the next generation, parent, or simply someone looking to enhance their leadership skills in everyday life, this podcast is for you.
Join us every week as we embark on a thought-provoking, uplifting, and sometimes humorous exploration of leadership.
Get ready to lead with purpose and passion. Welcome to Leadership in 320. All right, welcome everybody to Leadership in 320. I believe this is our inaugural episode. Is that right,
Number
Charlie?
one.
Number one.
Let's get it.
The first of a few, the first of many. Time shall tell, I suppose.
I'm not sure if people are going to watch or not, but we're going to keep putting them out every Thursday.
Oh my gosh. And ultimately, our plan is to kind of chat about all things leadership, which is rather broad and involved topic throughout life in general.
Professional-wise, family-wise, just anything and everything, and we'll probably throw some other stuff in there too.
No, I'm sure there'll be a little nonsense and shenanigans throughout as well.
I hope so.
Yeah. No, speaking of which, one of the biggest things that we talk about in leadership, you and I, through our personal conversations, is ultimately, getting yourself right so you can take care of you and take care of everybody else.
Yeah, I wore black tonight. I've heard it makes you look more slimming, but I don't know if it does or not.
Not from my angle. Not from this direction.
I went without the tucked in look, hoping it would make me look a little bit more slender, but
it didn't work. It's a good try.
I shouldn't have had 2 burgers for supper. Should have stopped at one.
Yeah, he's been a good trier. Yeah, those burgers. Thanks for supper, by the way. But My God, we just can't find a middle ground with you.
I already know what you're going to say.
They're literally look like the meatball formula that's still getting slapped around in the bowl. Or my God, you burned the life out of those things.
Tonight
it was the latter.
Yeah, I got talking to Dad a little bit, and he distracted me, and when I went to flip them over, it looked like they got put through the incinerator.
It's been a long story. My God.
Did you see how I put them in the bowl, though? I put them all face up, so the burnt ends was on the bottom, and the not so burnt. It was still a little burnt, but not as burnt.
That maybe worked for the visual, but it didn't hide the crunch in between the buns.
It needed a little extra ketchup tonight.
Yeah, it did. And thanks to you, I put down my first glass of milk in probably about 2-3 months. I actually didn't mind it. It was a godsend while trying to finish that supper. So thank you. My bones needed the calcium. So
oh my gosh.
But
I can't wait to grill for you again sometime.
Yeah, it's always
oh
adventure.
My gosh.
No, but it was a good supper. So thanks.
Yeah.
Everything but the entree was delicious.
Yeah, the salads and the desserts were great.
No, that was all good. But ultimately, we had talked about, you said you were looking slimmer.
No, I'm not. I just wore black hoping that would make me look slimmer.
I can't believe you haven't any comments for me yet.
No, I don't know. You're looking slightly more trim in the face. The last few weeks we went on our little trip, and I came back, and I
was just a new guy.
I know, you looked like a new man.
No, well,
let me keep cooking for you, and it'll keep the pounds off.
Yeah, no, I would probably drop a few if I was a was a daily attendee with you.
No, I saw this the other day, and I thought it described me pretty well. It said that my body type is one that looks like someone who tries to work out some, but also never passes up on cookies.
I don't think you ever have you?
No, cookies are my kryptonite. I love desserts in general, but I don't know. I don't really think I've had too many bad cookies before, and it's usually not just one. It's usually more than one. So
no, unless it's one. Actually have seen you turn down a cookie. I won't mention the name, but they had like
Lisa,
like preserves on it was the
oh
frosting,
yeah,
like jam.
Yeah, it was more of like a fruit cake.
And maybe you don't call that even a cookie, or you wouldn't call it a cookie. No,
not again. I'm not gonna knock it because I don't really bake, but that was questionable.
No,
I guess to say the least.
Not the best. Well, we talk about routines and the importance of it, and the one thing I removed from my routine as recently was I'm not a frequent flyer at the Burger King establishment, or I haven't been in recent time.
I don't know.
I've been known to frequent that place.
Not the other day, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, you had told me that you had gone like the longest you have without being a Burger King, and I was like, well, that's impressive. I'm like, where are you at? You're like 2 weeks.
I think I was getting into a bad spot when I was maybe not telling the complete truth to my spouse, but also when I used the kids as the excuse. Well, the kids wanted to go, or just had to grab the kids something quick, but somehow I always found something for myself there as well. So
I don't know. For me, it's that anybody who has, I shouldn't say, I'm not more, I'll focus of where I do, but anyone who has the Burger King app and knows exactly what code they need to type in to get their free fries or their extra
free fries
Whopper or whatever.
You have to have the app. It's just silly not to. It's
I
free, a free any size fry pretty much all the time. So it was a large fry and a chicken junior. So it was $2.29.
It's also not good that you actually know the exact cost of what it is.
And there was, back to the telling the complete truth, I would pay using like the change in my cup holders. So it was.
Yeah, you were driving around before they even told you what your total was.
Yeah, I already know. It was more so, it was the incognito mode. I didn't want that showing up on the bank statement. I didn't want to.
Why do we keep having these $2.29 charges to our credit
Must
card?
be a mistake. They have our number and someone's
fishing.
$2.29. No, I don't know if I was more disappointed in myself seeing it on there, or I didn't want her to see it. Probably.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can remember a few months ago when you were like, we were marathon training, and you're like, we finished our longer run for the week, and we're like, well, should we go to grab some Subway, or I don't know. There was not a whole lot of options here, but come up a little something. I don't know, make some noodles or whatever. And you're like, let's go to Burger King. And I'm like, we just finished this. Maybe we should have. You're like, oh, let's get some good protein, some good carbs.
I want some carbs, some salt back in my body.
Oh, there was plenty of salt.
There's plenty of that. I like how you dropped that. You really called that last go training. And what long run are you referring to?
I think it was 7 miles.
Oh my gosh. No, that was interesting.
Good to put behind us.
Yeah, no, that was an adventure. I don't think that wasn't a run that morning. That was a walk and a jog and a walk some more. And
yeah, that was the redemption, but
there was no redemption. That was not.
I redeemed myself. We did it.
So there was no redemption in that.
Oh yeah.
How?
I got a medal hanging on the wall. It's nailed up there. It's staying up there forever.
I don't even know where mine is. I know I got a stomach ache and I took about 8 years off my knees. That's all I know that day. And I had any pride I had was lost.
You would have felt better about it if you would have ran a little faster. You would have got the oranges like I did.
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing you get when we're moving as slow as I was. I had to pick up some oranges off the ground to suck the juice out of the ones that the rest had just to keep me going.
Disgusting.
There's nothing there. What do you mean you're out of Gatorade?
They were folding up the tables and everything. I'm saying all this, I'll beat you by like 4 minutes.
No, that was true. You're lucky that I didn't know that you were, or I wasn't. You're lucky from our fan base. I was not tipped off
Oh, I was.
that you were not a whole. Because if I would have saw you, even as as bad as it was, I would have.
I was a wounded animal.
Oh, I would have tracked you down for sure.
I told you, I kept looking over my shoulder, just thinking that you were maybe like sensing that I was done. And
Well, that's good, but there will be a rubber match for sure. Because I'm not leaving on that one, whether you're there or not. But as far as
I'll be there. I'll be there cheering you on.
I'm not gonna have the worst time in the books. But the best thing ever was our first go around at this a few years ago. Your performance was not what you hoped for.
No.
And I did okay. I was happy with mine. But the best part about the whole thing was when they post the video or whatever, and the official results like 2 days later. This is one of the funniest things ever. So we're at grandma's house around the table, and someone had told us or whatever that it was posted or we had checked. So we looked and they had like the finish line view from the left, right, and straight on or whatever. Which one, it was disappointing because flying down the hill there at the Capitol in the cities, I felt like
there was no flying down the
I
hill.
felt like I was. I remember I was like opening up my stride. I remember that moment. I just was like, oh my God, I'm just flying. So watching that back and looking at like I had been wounded, mortally wounded, dragging my feet down that hill. But the best part was there was a gentleman.
He's like 78 years old.
He was an older guy, and he was closing ground on me very quickly. It's the little video on the line, the finish line. It very well might appeared he got me at the finish line, which all that besides you sitting there laughing at this hysterically. And your words were, "Oh my God, did that old guy beat you?" And you remember what I told you? I said, I don't know if he beat me, but he beat you by a half hour. As you saw the color leave your face a little bit there. You didn't quite think that one all the way through. So
no, I do. I think, granted, when it comes to running, like, I mean, for me, it really is. I just think of whether it's a marathon, half, 5K, whatever it is, a 1 mile fun run. If I see anybody out there, regardless of age, shape, whatever it might be, I'm like, more power to you. I want them to keep going and everything like that. But as we're running and we're on the tail end of this, I'm seeing some people and they look like they're in tough shape and they are like not moving. And just, I'm like, I don't know if they're going to make it. And as I'm thinking this, I'm like looking and they're pulling away from me.
They're thinking the same about you.
They're like limping and like, I'm like, God, they just look like they're in some sorry shape. And like, and all of a sudden they're like a block ahead of me, and then all of a sudden they're out of sight. And I'm like, I don't even want to know what I look like right now doing this.
Probably not good. But like you said, there's a lot of motivation in that. I think that's the biggest thing with participating in a couple of those events is, there's folks that, I don't know, one of the coolest things, it feels like it's a super non-judgmental space.
Well, no, I feel like, obviously you could run with people or compete. Obviously, we're not at the competitive level of that, but I mean, to me, it is. It's like you're racing against yourself. You're trying to either beat your old time or just do it for the first time or last time. And
yeah,
that's what I like about it. I mean, everybody's just like, you're cheering everybody on. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, the people that are lining the streets, the spectators and the people, I have not experienced or seen anyone, drop a "you suck" or something like that, which would be rather defeating if that were to happen. But I mean, it's kind of just like rallying. The cool thing is you can make it however you want it to. You know what I mean? Like you said, you can be ripping off 7-minute miles, 8-minute miles, 9-minute miles, or
12-minute miles.
yeah,
Doesn't matter.
14, 15, doing a little walking, doing a little running. So I think that's the cool thing about it too.
No, I think, yeah, just the whole atmosphere of it. I don't know. Like you said, I'm not sure if I'll run another one, but if you're going to run another one, I'll definitely be there. And, yeah, I could be maybe the person that finally yells, "You suck" to you, but I'll be cheering everybody else on.
It hasn't been long enough yet. It's
No,
one of those things that it's like what's something you could compare it to?
I don't know about that. I just feel like it's one of those things where you need more time to forget.
Oh, exactly. Like I'm not a huge heights guy, like a roller coaster or something. Go on a wild thing. Then the next summer or 2 years ago, you think it's a good idea again, and then you get on there and realize it wasn't.
No, I need more time for that still. So if we end up going there again anytime soon, I'm just gonna be sitting down there eating a funnel cake. I'm not going on any of those things. I can't handle that anymore.
Oh, you just need to pop some what is that?
Dramamine?
Dramamine.
I don't know.
Put down some of
I
that.
think we're done.
Well, that's no fun.
I don't know.
Well, that was just.
I'll be the guy. I'll hold everybody's stuff when they go on the rides. They can load up.
All the backpacks and such. You can hit the water park.
God, and this is switching it up here, but something you said, I don't even know, earlier this summer, but it just pissed me off, and it wasn't even directed at me, but just thinking about if anybody ever said this to me,
Oh, I know exactly what you're gonna say.
or if
I don't even know where that came from, but
I don't know
gonna say
either.
Someone coined that term, not directed at me.
I'd never heard it before, and I might get it. You have to correct me if I'm wrong here. But no, if someone ever called me this or like said this about me, I would be not happy. But what does he said? You called somebody a...
I did not call anybody.
No, but you told me the term. So you
Yes.
said about calling somebody, was it a Disney World dad or a Disneyland dad?
Was it Disney World Dad is how it was
That
coined to me.
and I didn't even know what it meant. Like I would blow up if somebody actually called me that, because if that's the perception I was giving off, I would be furious.
Well, that's the thing. I think you can roll that over into pretty much all aspects. I think that directly relates to leadership in a sense too, because being a dad, being a parent of any kind is one of the greatest forms of leadership. But we can talk on that a little bit. But ultimately, for those that was described to me, is maybe someone that's not super active in that space, but the Disneyland dad is, they're there in the picture at Disneyland, holding the kids or whatever with a big smile on their face, and maybe absent for whatever reason in
We're just not present.
the day to day. Yeah, and a lot of that might not be by choice either, but I think that term, and I'm not super familiar with it, is maybe the ones that they're maybe just not super present in other times, which that would be a little bit of a slap in the face. But that's the same in our position or any professional position too. I think you could spin that around a little bit and talk about that person's that's just there for the picture, or whatever. I think you can compare that to the one that wants the credit, which certainly I think strong leaders of any kind, I like to think that they're doing a little more background work, not in that.
Well, I mean, I would never want to be, in professionally in that regard called out as, the boss or the guy who is, he's got the newspaper quote, or, he's got the picture at the, open house kind of a thing, or a band concert. And other than that, it's like,
and some of that is,
what does he even do? He's not even around kind of a thing,
Yeah, and that's the same as being visible again, or what's the word you used? Present. Yeah. But, in some of that, it's obviously healthy. You're proud or whatever. If there's some PR things there that are.
Oh yeah, those are
but you know what? There's like
there's
like
if that's literally like the. Hey, the newspaper's here. Oh, let me step out of my office.
Yeah,
here.
no, that's.
I just so happen to wear my 3-piece suit today.
Oh my goodness!
Didn't even know you guys were coming.
I could tell you. Well, if that was the case, you'd have to tell them what is that called? Make sure they take it in portrait, not the landscape. You don't need any.
No.
You don't need any.
Maybe.
You don't need any opportunity to go wider. But
No close-ups.
no, but I mean, ultimately, and that's the same. Well, luckily for you and I, we got good crews on the home front, and we work with a stellar teams on the work front too. So it's easy to pass things off because we work with such great people, which is great for us.
Oh, it is. I mean, I know the people who say grass isn't greener or isn't always greener on the other side. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I look around with, where, like, I'm not going to speak for you, I guess, but for me, it's like, I've been there a long time, but look at the people that are there. And I mean, it's just, you kind of summed it up when you said just a good squad to work with and people you can count on and people that are, well, again, last time I'll reference this probably, but the whole Disney World thing, it's like, it's not just like, you're there for them from 8 to 4 or whatever, I mean, there's still a, how was the weekend kind of a thing. How are you guys doing? The personal aspect of it, you know who their families are, about what their kids are doing, what they've got going on. And it's not just like, you're done with each other after
a business relationship, which that can be a challenge too. Like you and I have talked about at length, again, personally and professionally, that can be a challenge because getting to know folks on a personal level, whatever else, that doesn't make it on for say a formal to-do list.
No.
I mean, to get in for the day, to get out, get some things accomplished, that's kind of got to be in the flow where you can survive, maybe not for a super long time, but that goes for the same for marriage, relationship with your kids or whatever too. Those aren't the things at home, dishes got to be cleaned, clothes got to be washed, those things that gets you down and down the road, but there's not a lot of richness there either without taking some time to check in with people and see how their day was and
it is.
Slow down a little bit.
I mean, the biggest thing is, people know when we talk about even just kids and how well they can see things and understand things. And and they know if you're on your phone or busy with something else and they're trying to tell you about something that's the most important thing that they have going on right now in their world. And you're just kind of, scrolling through something or just whether it's important or not. I felt bad the other day, even I was just trying to go through a few like work emails and it's like, okay, like, all right, this is not the time for this right now. We've got other more important things to take care of right here and right now. And
it's good to catch yourself.
It's
better to establish some routines. I have not mastered that.
No, I've tried not either.
Whether it's the airplane mode or whatever else, but I think
that seems a little extreme.
Well, something. I like download the app because that drives me insane. So I finally did do that because otherwise, it pings at you and then you can see the number go up depending on what your settings are.
For what?
Like on the Gmail app.
No, I don't do that. I don't have that.
You don't have the app?
I have the app. I don't want the notifications.
Oh, no. God, I was going to say, let me fire up my laptop and check my emails. Jeez. God, you must be carefree as that. God, I want to drive to work and check my emails.
Pull my Windows 95.
Like, God, I got to take some notes from you.
I specifically asked the tech department for a desktop computer.
Oh, no, but it is. But I think the scary thing is, you and I have talked about this, which it's good to be cognizant about it, whether it's at work or home. But God, it's one thing too, like to your point, the kids don't know what you're doing on there, whether you're watching something really stupid.
It doesn't matter. All they see is that you're on your phone.
No, whether you're just watching something dumb or if you're watching some videos or scrolling, as you said, or if you're knocking out some work emails, it's the same thing to the kids.
I honestly just thought of this here. And I'm going to hopefully use this going forward. I'm going to probably tell this to people at school too. You could tell me. Well, maybe it's not worth it. You could tell me. But think about it this way, I guess. Would you on, so a Saturday or an evening, would you take so I guess I'm getting this wrong. During the school day, would you watch 2 hours of a Twins game on your phone, go through a bunch of Instagram reels, look up some YouTube videos or whatever, and then read some ESPN articles and take 2.5 hours of your school day? No, because that sounds completely ridiculous. But on a Thursday night after working all day from 7 to 9 o'clock, is there a chance that you might be on your computer or your phone going through school stuff or emails for 2 hours? Maybe.
Yeah.
But that seems like okay to me where, yeah, I'm not going to like post up the MLB app and check out the second half of a Twins game in September.
It is, but it's all, I don't know. I think there's a huge disconnect, though. Just speaking for my own self, not getting after other people. But it's like, my goodness. Just wasted time. And I'll catch myself once in a while. Which, some of it is entertainment. But, well, you can see some of the times the stuff I'm up to when I send you some late night videos that are giving me a chuckle. But, like well,
it's anything. Perfect for me because I didn't have to go through the time trying to find it. You just send it to me and I got to take 10 seconds to watch it.
Which it's, like anything, I think some of that's healthy for enjoyment and moderation. But I just think everybody, what do some people say? We're so connected. We're completely disconnected. But I don't know what it looks like in your house for sure. I really don't actually. I'm curious. Well, just like Brennan, what were we? We were on, what is that show called? I really like that show.
The Bachelor?
Sitcom. No, not The Bachelor. I don't mind The Bachelor. What is that called? New Girl.
Mm-hmm.
But they took that off whatever streaming service now, I believe. So it's Friends as what's on all the time. So, the hustle and bustle of the day, and this wasn't just a one-day thing. I mean, this was a series of days in a row where, we'd be on the run. We're not having supper, really, all of us sitting down, getting the kids ready for bed, each taking a kid, putting them to bed, and meeting back for a rendezvous on the couch there where, by that time I'm sure I had a big Gardettos or something, some snack. Whatever she was doing. Had the laptop out, doing a few things. And then I'm sure at the same time had my phone, doing whatever. Mm-hmm. Friends is on TV. She's sitting there glued on her phone. We haven't said a word to each other. I mean, this is episode which, there's hardly any commercials, whatever. So, third episode, like an hour. We haven't spoken to each other. And finally, it was like we both looked up at each other at the same time. Like, what the hell are we doing?
It's better though when it's better when only one person looks up and each person's been on their phone for an hour and finally you're like, this is enough of this. You set it down, you look over the other person. What do you keep doing on your phone? Get off of there.
Well, maybe the stars aligned because I'm sure we did. So finally, maybe our gaze got each other there. But talk about it's literally probably my favorite person sitting 5 feet away from me, and I can't find anything to say or ask her. So it's like, so we kind of try to hit the reset button on that because again, all of it's I don't want to say it's the new norm, but doing the scrolling or whatever, some videos, or if you're watching TV. But I mean, if that's all a guy is doing, it's like holy smokes.
Well, listen,
what are we doing here?
I mean, for me, it's almost a trade deadline for baseball and week or whatever. So I've been trying to keep up on that. So keep checking out articles and everything like that. But it's almost like every now and then Ashley comes in the room and it's like I have to hold my phone out and show her like, look, this is legit. This isn't a waste of time.
This is important stuff.
Yeah.
But this, I think I make the comparison and I've gotten to a point now where I'm very much cognizant of it, but I haven't really done any fixing to it. So it'll start to drive me nuts enough. But like I was saying, sitting on the couch, not talking anything. I mean, if you get stuck in something like that, then what are we talking about? The only conversations I can think, again, that we had today, it was about a couple of bills, wondering if someone had paid it or not, hoping that each other had. So, there was a little feistiness there. Otherwise, the house was a mess, whatever else. We're trying to pick up stuff. And that's our communication. That's, like I said, that's what it was. So, again, the things that needed to happen, we needed to pay that bill, whatever else. we needed to argue about if laundry was done. But I mean, you get, and I, being half-heartedly joking here, but that's all we're talking about. We're not talking about the fun stuff
Good
of any
stuff.
kind. Like, hey, what are you looking forward to? What are you doing? Whatever else. And the same goes for work, right? If you're only reaching out to a colleague when they need something or when you need something from them, or vice versa when they need something from you. So you're asking something of them, or you're talking about an initiative or a project or whatever that's got to get done. You're probably not going to have the highest regard for that person. When you're always just talking bang, bang, bang business, but it makes it so much easier. If you're checking in with that person, have a genuine interest of what they're doing, like you said, their kids, whatever else, then there's, that's easier. But same with your spouse at home. It's like, my goodness, there has to be some good mixed in.
Well, yeah, I mean, you said the work aspect. I mean, if the only conversation you ever have with anybody is, if it's something important you got to go over, or maybe something that's not so great, and you come in there and it's middle of the year, and this is the second conversation you've had with this person all year, and it's like, what an a-hole. I mean, it's big. You come in there and maybe it's like their birthday and you have no idea because you haven't talked to them, and it's like, oh, he's gonna wish me a happy birthday, and it's like, hey, this is going on here, we got to change this. Yeah. It's like, oh. So I mean, it is. I just think when you had said the bills part of the thing, and obviously you guys are, that's not an issue, but I mean, just professionally, when you have those relationships built, I mean, that's going to make any difficult conversations or, issues, so much easier to get through them because you've got that foundation. And I mean, it's more of like a team type thing, and you're working together on it. I mean, just like at home, I mean, if the only thing you ever talked about were bills and whatever else, something leaking
stuff,
or whatever,
yeah.
kid stuff, I mean, yeah, it probably wouldn't be the best time ever.
That's a problem. I think that's a theme, which, because I like to think that we do an okay job, or a better than okay job. So for folks that aren't in tune, or, because there's always challenges, but my goodness, if you're only knocking out the challenges all the time and not taking a chance to, my God, like I told, the other thing I told Brennan, it's like, oh my God, like the cribbage board, I don't even know where the cribbage board is.
That's
like,
sad.
Huh?
I said, that's sad.
Or like sequence. It's like, what are we doing? We can do that, without the two rascals, a little game of Farkle or something. So kind of I get back in the groove there of hanging out as a couple too.
Well, it does. And I mean, to me, it's just like if you're going to try to exercise more or diet, you want to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I mean, thinking about the end goal seems kind of almost insurmountable to an extent. But if you break it down and I just think something I heard a while back was just, be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday. I mean, if you do it like that, I feel like that's a lot easier to build off of, and it's just easier to kind of wrap your head around. Like, oh, I can do that. Yesterday I was kind of a piece of crap. Like, so today I should be able to be a little bit easier.
And I think it's important, like you said, because that can be a little abstract, but make it tangible. You know what I mean? If you're driving yourself crazy with the phone thing, that, give yourself an action step of sorts. Every time I walk through the door, I'm going to chuck my phone here until, I've been referring to it, Brian, with the power hours, like, well, during the school year for sure. But, like that 4:30 to 7:30 when you're home and kids are ready to rock, they want to tell you about their day. You got to have some supper, got to have some fun, play some board games and stuff to be present during that time, which I fail at often. But
well, it is, because for me anyway, the morning is just gone, done. I mean, everybody's kind of, I don't want to say rushed, but I mean, it's not just that. I guess I'm not really in the mood to play a board game at 6 a.m. But
no.
But yeah, so the morning is more just kind of, I feel like for us anyway, getting everybody ready to go and getting ready for the day. But yeah, taking advantage of that after school thing. And I still, with that, I think about just taking advantage of every moment you have and everything that you've got. And I mean, something that I think about regularly is when we were, so I guess my second year out of college and then your first year out, for me, it was always just, Sunday night through Thursday night was just kind of, well, you go to work and go home and get ready for the next day. And, on the weekend, you can have a little fun and do this, do that. But I still remember then it was like September. And I think it was like, I don't even know if it was a Monday night or a Tuesday night. And you're like, hey, after school, let's come over to our place, or we'll throw the football around. We'll get some supper. And I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday night. We can't do that on Tuesday. That's fun. But like to me, it was honestly like just like mind blowing. Like this opened up a whole new world to me. Like, you don't have to, I don't wish time away, but I mean, you got to take advantage of what you have. I mean, there's no reason that you can't do something like that on a Tuesday night or Wednesday night, or, just with your family. It doesn't have to be just, I mean, I think it's great that people have, the Friday night game nights or pizza nights or whatever, to have those little traditions and everything. But I mean, it's like, I think you got to be open to
something to look forward to.
Everything.
Especially when you think of the kids, because I think sometimes Brent and I personally, if we feel like, God, we got to do something with the kids, we got to go have fun. It doesn't have to be this grand deal like a hotel weekend or whatever, which is fun, certainly. But I mean, the kids, they're going to have just as much fun playing, Sorry or Trouble in the nights, reading books or whatever else it is, which that's easy to forget too. Same at work, sometimes you feel like, oh, we gotta stir things up here a little bit in a good way, have a big grand gesture, which again is fine, right? At times that's a good thing, but so much of it is just so easy and simple. Just like you said, going to have a conversation in the morning after school, checking in, getting some laughs going. I mean, that's what changes. That's what moves the meter, certainly, is that day in, day out type things. So yeah, easier said than done too. But
well, it is, but I mean, again, like I said earlier, I mean, if you're looking at from where you're at to where you want to be, I mean, you're just going to overwhelm yourself, or I would overwhelm myself anyway, if that's what you're viewing it as. Like, I need to go from 0 to 60. I mean, you got to just kind of slowly creep it up a little bit until you get to the point, where you envision yourself being, and hopefully when you get there, you're not just done. You want to have some new goals set and everything else, and
kind of continue to move down the path. Does my head look as big as yours with those headphones? That's what I'm wondering when I'm looking at you.
I don't know. I told you. I don't want to compliment you too much, but your face still looks skinny. I don't know how long that'll last. Your nose doesn't. If you turned your head, it wouldn't. But
it's cut on.
No, I just. I don't know. I got like the extra large headphones. These are
they different?
No.
Oh.
Your head's just as big as mine.
I was just wondering. Yours looks like it's squeezing all the life out of you over there.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have circles around my ears for the next 2 days.
Yours look like they got like cranked down.
I got them cinched in the back.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
You got the medium husky size.
Medium husky. I wish I'm about ready to get back in some of my medium husky shirts I deemed being that size.
Yeah.
It was teeter-tottering for a while. It was figure it out or go buy new clothes.
I just figured you buy new clothes.
Oh no, Brennan's a bit of a seamstress. She's worked some wonders on a couple of things. So definitely have not needed a belt in a while. I mean,
I wear a belt just to make sure my button doesn't pop off my shorts.
just for the aesthetics of it, you need the belt, of course. But it wasn't doing anything. I was asking nothing of the belt.
Just doing it to hold things in place.
Oh no, yeah, well, yeah, maybe like you said, to maybe clamp things, make sure things stay.
Like what are those? The tie strap, or what are those tie straps in the back of a truck?
Yeah.
What are those called?
I don't know. Tie strap.
Like you winch it down.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. That's what I use a belt for. Just gotta tie things down. Make sure nothing blows away.
But you go get up from a table, nobody move.
We eat with safety glasses.
Don't want a button flying.
Shit,
Just
my
straight
two is losing a button.
Oh no. But that's part of it. And we touched on it a little bit in a joking way. But you know, if you're in whatever capacity, which again anybody's in a leadership capacity of some kind, I would argue, if they choose to be, there's certainly opportunity. But you know, you gotta take care of yourself, whatever that looks like for you. You know, some physical, certainly, some mental wellness.
Well, and for me, I mean, it is if you knock out some kind of workout or run, mentally, it's almost just like, for me, it's like that helps, that knowing that you kind of helped yourself, and
You gotta get on the morning train. My goodness.
No, I don't think so. I've tried it a few times, and I'd have nothing in the tank in the morning, which is exactly the opposite of what it should be.
Oh, what do you mean nothing in the tank? It's not like you're hucking barbells around or anything.
No, I mean, I wake up in the morning, I have my clothes picked out the night before, and bottom line, I take a shower, get into those clothes, and I'm ready to go. Like, I don't have any extra.
I would argue you're not ready to go immediately, huh?
I'm ready to go.
I visited with you, well, when I was commuting for what? So for a period of 7 years, more days than not, I would be talking to you at 6:45 in the morning. You did not sound like a man on many of those days. That was right when you got on the road.
Yeah, we were on autopilot.
Huh?
Autopilot then.
I think you were still waking up.
Yeah, but I was ready to go. I didn't say like ready to get something productive done. I was moving.
You're ready to get in the car.
We're going 60 miles down the road.
The commute, though, that was healthy, certainly, for that. I'm struggling, which the commute, you know, when folks say it was nice to have the thinking time and the wind down, I apparently didn't learn how to use it for 8 years because I'd still get home. I wouldn't use it very wisely because you would think you could get yourself right and get in a spot where you could walk through the door and just be ready to give yourself. I would hope at that time you wouldn't need to put on a fake smile. You know, I could put things in storage at least for a few hours or for the next day.
Every now and then you put it in storage, but you forget to zip it up tight.
Give yourself to the home team for a few hours because, and this sounds terrible, it's just reality. But you know, you get home, some stuff going on, you know, you got stuff going on tomorrow, and then you're met with the, you know, daddy, which is the best thing. Oh, yeah. But, you know, certainly, depending upon the day, it can be, just depending upon, be a little overwhelming, which, like I said, I probably didn't use the commute as well as I could have. Which
well, no.
Now I'm kind of had to shift a little bit because, you know.
So you got that 2-minute commute now.
No, and, you know, Bren's made the comment before, you know, if you got something to do still, you should just stay at work.
Yeah.
Which my response oftentimes is, you know, that would be a dangerous game to play as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
you didn't get home until 8:30.
Yeah. There's always something, you know, always something going on. So that's tough as well. But, you know, as far as compartmentalizing or, like I said, that's why I kind of started calling it and framing it in my head as a separate segment of time, like that the power hours, you know, that 4:30, 7:30, shutting it all down, you know, giving it, which makes a huge difference. I wish I was a master at it, but happens more often than not these days anyways.
Oh, no. I mean, I do. I can picture the times where I feel like I have been like exceptional in, you know, like, let's go, let's do this, getting everybody fired up and like, you know, let's go. And it's like, wow, why can I not be like this all the time? Because then, you know, the very next night or whatever, it's kind of like, get in the bathroom, brush your teeth, let's go. Like, we're not playing no games. Like, let's get this.
Now.
Yeah. But like you said, you gotta the next night hit the reset button, and that doesn't happen all that often. But just make sure that you're there and excited. And I mean, now that the weather's been nicer, it is. I mean, it's like I feel half the time it's like you got the car, put the car in park, and before you could even take the keys out, somebody's pounding on your window, like you said. Like, wait, and it's like, oh my god, like, hey, well, it's like, all right, like let's do this. Like we gotta, they're excited to see me. I gotta be, I'm excited to see them, and you just gotta make sure you show them that. And it is, it's like that's when it, like you had said before, you take the phone, chuck that to the side, and enjoy your power hour, as you said, and just be there. I mean, for me, it's 2 separate moments today. One was 90 degrees and we played baseball. I mean, I'm sweating right now and I'm not doing anything.
You are sweating.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's not,
what's going on over there?
I'm still sweating from supper.
Huh?
I'm still sweating from supper. But no, like, you want to play baseball.
Still sweating for thinking about that grill you were staying over for about an hour and a half or 12 burgers.
Got a new propane tank. I wanted to test it out.
Yeah, well, I think you need a new one tomorrow. You get everything refilled before you chuck something on there again.
We had all the burners were just fired up.
Is this normal to go through a whole? How many? God, we've been grilling a lot this summer. I've gone through 24 propane tanks.
Am I the only one who uses lighter fluid on a propane grill?
You should tell. I don't know who you get your propane through. You should tell them that you want it hooked up to the. You want it hooked up to the big dog one. Your home one. That was separate line. How many gallons those things are? God damn. That guy loves to grill.
Separate valve.
You'd probably blow up the whole town if you did that. Boom.
Honestly, tonight, I didn't tell you this. Speaking about the slightly burnt burgers, tonight before I went and I opened up the line for the propane and I turned the burners all to high like you're supposed to do before you hit the ignite button. And Mom and Dad pulled up right in the midst as I'm in the middle of doing this. Dad gets out, starts walking over there. Yeah. Just start talking a little bit.
You forgot about it?
Oh, I forgot about it. So it was on for like 2 minutes.
Luckily, it wasn't in the garage, was it?
No, it was outside. But every time I've ever turned started the grill, you got the lid off, obviously, or open, and I've been sitting there for I don't know how long with all the burners wide open. And Dad's right next to me. And I don't know why I had the lids shut still, but I clicked the button as I'm opening the lid. Whoosh. Dad's, holy cow.
Luckily, you were in the open air.
Oh no, like my eyebrows are pretty bushy, but I think they got trimmed up a little bit there. That was, so I'm like, so my confidence was rattled from the get-go tonight. Dad saw me not start the grill the right way, and then I proceeded to, as I'm talking to him, char the bottom half of the burgers.
Did you shut it off, or maybe that was the problem? Did you just let those flames go the whole time?
No, we turned them down, but maybe I should have turned them down a little bit more and then took them off.
It wasn't. I was seeing where that was going. It wasn't as bad as the time you and me were. The fish was about blew the door off. That thing didn't want to light very good, and apparently there had been a large amount of gas that had accumulated on the multiple times trying to light it without opening the door.
Yeah, we should have both known if something's up and both our eyes were burning.
Yeah, what is that?
I was just glad you had it too, and it wasn't just me.
Boom.
A little fish house, there wouldn't have been much left of it.
No, that wouldn't have been the best. Wouldn't have been the best deal. But what do you do? Well, yeah, ultimately, what else was I going to tell you? Oh, I was going to mention this. I already mentioned this to you once. And we'll chat, I imagine. Our visits here on a weekly basis will kind of talk about leadership and in all forms. And we had mentioned at the beginning, how anybody's certainly capable and there's opportunity anywhere. And maybe you and I have talked about that, or our definition is maybe a little more broad or wider, just from our experience as far as what leadership means. But I'd say this kind of centers what I think of leadership. And I mentioned this too about our summer school session closed a couple weeks ago, and had kids all the way from going into first grade to going into sixth graders, going to sixth grade. And we had gone to this large park, and it was larger playground equipment than like at a normal park, certainly that I've seen. Anyways, there was this rather large like rope tower, I would describe it as, like the whatever climbing ropes, you can climb.
So like that spider thing, like where it's like a circle, like a
no. Well, what is that
semicircle?
rope? What was that rope stuff? You know what I'm saying? No,
Just
I'm
like
saying. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying.
Not like so those four. I don't even know what you call it, like jungle rope or whatever.
Just like the thick rope.
Well,
that
yeah,
they
like
have,
it's in the squares you climb up it.
Yeah.
But it was like 2 levels of it, so it was like these
Cargo net kind of thing.
Cargo, whatever. Cargo net rope. You could climb up it. Anyways, you got to the top, and that was the same like the floor, and it was a ways up there. And then your only route down was slide. But I mean, it was tall enough where the wave of kids that was going up there, I don't think you realized how high you were getting quickly until you got up there, and it would have been pretty awkward to get down. Bottom line, a couple of students, one was not pleased to be up there. They got up there and they're like, we're clearly scared. And there was a little commotion up there, not a big deal. But there was 2 other students who were in the same grade, so the same age as that student, but I would say just not, not like best friends with the student by any stretch. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be running in the same circles with them. They were in a different class. You're in just, which is fine. Not closely associated. And both those boys, which they didn't know anybody was watching or anything up there, one had kind of gave him a pat on the shoulder and said, you're okay or whatever. You're fine. We'll help you. And one grabbed one arm and one grabbed the other, and they walked across and got him to the slide. And again, they didn't know it was myself, and at least 2 or 3 other adults witnessed that too. And it's like, that was a huge deal. And to those boys, they were on, chasing each other, and they were done and probably didn't think about it twice. But it's like, oh my gosh, that's just huge stuff. And to recognize that for those kids too.
Well, it's awesome. Like you said, the fact that they just did it.
Yeah.
They weren't looking for a reward
No, and I mean, they had no idea that anyone even knew what I mean. There was no other motives other than simply helping that kid, which I think really is exactly what, leadership is.
Well, and that's what we meant by it. I mean, obviously you've got huge positions of leadership. I mean, leading a company or a state, a nation or whatever, but I mean, it can be just anybody. It doesn't even have to be, it doesn't have to be a title.
No, it's not like you and I have talked about that. It's certainly not a position or a title. In our realm, our work, our business, we're lucky we work with a whole building of leaders, which again, you can look at that, whatever company you're in, private, public, whatever, schools, not schools. But, schools are filled with leaders.
Well, I mean,
which is awesome.
I would say, any teacher, any staff member, I mean, they're all leading.
Yeah.
Their class, their groups of students, or their individual students that they're working with. And I mean, and then even just the students in general. I mean, they're all.
No. If you look at our, support staff, paraprofessionals, maintenance staff, kitchen staff. I mean, I think of leadership
office staff.
Office staff.
They're running that ship.
Running the show. But I think the cool thing about that is there's so much opportunity, to have, like I said, on the playground there's so many interactions during the day that you as a individual, no matter what your position is, you have the choice whether you're making those, positive, meaningful or not. And I think that's kind of the unique spot and what makes it so, that's what makes it so rewarding and so fun. That's the part that makes it.
Well, this is taken into some small examples. I mean, it can be like that, the actual conversations, or talking about leading your families. Go to the Twins game the other day, and I mean, what do you do at the end of the game? Are you I feel like it's the little things that, you're essentially leading by showing your kids, how to be a better person. Are you letting somebody out in front of you on the steps? Did you pick up your trash or did you throw it all on the ground? You're just leading by example. Like the boys or the students that you said at the park, they didn't know anybody was watching. They're not getting anything out of it. It's just leading when you don't even really think about leading,
And recognizing that too, like you said. And you had said I usually make an effort to make a quick call, which I didn't, forgot about it. But because parents, my goodness, that got me like pumped up just watching that. That made me like jacked up. Know what I mean? So as a parent, certainly you got to always pass that on too, and certainly make the boys aware too. Know what I mean? I think it's important, especially when you're talking with kids, to recognize that. Gosh, that was a big deal. That was really cool. Know what I mean? So that doesn't go unnoticed either. Speaking of which, this is completely changing the subject. I don't know if we should end on this or not.
I don't know. I'll tell you in a second.
Huh?
I don't know.
Well, this is going to be hard to go unmatched. So I had mentioned this to you briefly, but we got a little split up yesterday with the different ramps we were in.
Oh, yep.
Down at the game. And again, leadership, what you portray, what you put out of your mouth, is so very important. Sometimes that's okay just to not say anything, which, believe me, I was not perfect after the game, which got longer. Extra innings. Stayed to let the kids run the bases. It was hot. What was it yesterday? 90
something. Yeah.
But I'm like, it was time to go home.
Well, we thought,
especially for our car.
When we thought going home was going to be about an hour and a half earlier than it was.
It was long. Time to go home. But again, you're down at the game, whatever else. Everyone's hot. Everyone's probably hungry, whatever else. And that's everybody leaving the game. Know what I mean?
They got the W, though. That helped.
Bunch of kids. That helped. But anyways, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I feel like I'm going to say this because this will make you laugh. Anyways, so we might just have to, this will be our walk off. But I guess just being cognizant of the way you're talking, certainly to your children, and certainly with the people around you, I guess, if you care anything about what someone may think about you. But again, going up, didn't take the elevator because there's a whole bunch. So we went up a couple flights of stairs. Off that, I can't remember what that's called there. What's that called? Like when you come down to the plaza, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
And it was just packed, on these stairways. It was hotter than can be up through those. And this lady in front of me, and she had two little boys with her. They were busy, we'll say, but they were not. They were fine. They were doing fine. You can tell they had just been sitting for, 3 hours and whatever. They were whatever.
It was a marathon, a game.
Yeah. And they had said about, Mom, are we going to stop somewhere? Like on the way home, can we stop something? Again, they were not being bad. Much better than my kids were being. So anyways, they go, and this gal said very shrewdly, and again, we'll talk in another episode soon, just about tone of voice and everything and how that matters, whether it's written communication or communication. But this lady said in a voice that made the hair on the back of my neck stand up, essentially. It was mean. She was not happy. Said, and I'm not gonna try to sound like that, maybe a little bit, but ultimately her response to these little guys asking if they're gonna get a treat, which they maybe already had a treat, whatever, that's besides the point. She said, "You need another treat, like I need another hole in my butt." And I was like, yikes. My goodness gracious. Jiminy crickets. Unless they were a White Sox fan, maybe. She was not happy. They were going back to Chicago. After leading all game, they weren't happy, but
Who says that?
I've never heard that in my life. And I've heard some interesting lines, but I was like taken aback. But again, it wasn't just what she said. And
Oh
well,
my
again, we'll talk
gosh.
about this more in another
Oh, it got
conversation.
hotter in